What's going on, guys? It's your boy Elischa here, and welcome back to Go. This, as you know, is the show where we discuss everything in the world of football from the past week, and by we, of course, you know I mean myself, the one, the only, and you, the loyal, energetic, and amazing fans, the people of the world of football. Guys, it's the second week of football being back ever since the pandemic started, and things have been halting for a little bit. So without further ado, let's get right to the business. First of all, I know y'all like that little footage at the beginning. I know you enjoy that. It's a little something different, you know what I'm saying? But I know you like it. I know you enjoy it. Yeah, just a little something different, but you know the same laptop gotta be in the picture. All right, so first of all, as always, as we've been talking about since last week, since it's the only current league that's really fully back, we're talking about the Bundesliga. First up, we are starting with Hertha versus Union Berlin, and the Berlin derby that a lot of fans were really hoping for to be able to participate and actually be in the stadium for that. There's no fans allowed in the stadium, so it's a little bit dead, especially during a big game like that that's highly anticipated. Two Berlin clubs would have loved to have that energy in there, but there's always next year's, you know? But like I said before, the safety of the people come first, and Cunha, as I talked about that boy, the Brazilian wonder kid, just 20 years old. He was born in 1999, and he's now like one of the top players, a main man for Hertha. But again, in back-to-back games, Cunha scored a beautiful, beautiful goal for Hertha. This kid is 20 years old, and really just seems so confident in his play. Like when he's in the box, he looks comfortable. He doesn't look scared like, he's gonna get pushed around by the defenders or anything. No, he looks cool, calm, and collected, completely zen, and does what he has to do. Like, he doesn't look shook at all. And that's exactly why he was able to bag himself a goal. He was able to set up a goal for his teammates. Also, Hertha got 4 in the whole second half. The first half, Union and Hertha went back and forth. There was a lot of different chances for both teams, but the deadlock was not broken until the second half. Also, Luke Babio got a beautiful, beautiful goal. They're now 3-0 and 4-0 in back-to-back games, just starting back into the Bundesliga. So right now, they're really aiming to, I'm guessing now they're going on a run to try to be in Europe next year in the Champions League. But right now, they're on a very good start. And it's crazy that they're doing so well right after Jurgen Klinsmann left them in basically mid-season. And he hasn't had the best run of being a manager as of late. I mean, after the whole fiasco with the U.S. men's national team, it's just been a mess. But they're doing super well without him, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do next. They seem to have a really strong offense. They've had 2 clean sheets in the past games also. The way they're starting right now, they could be really dangerous, and they could be one of the teams to look out for. But Cunha, definitely a player to look out in the end of the season and in the season coming up. He could be a big problem. And now moving on to Paderborn versus Hoffenheim, which ended in a 1-1 draw, and Paderborn are now 9 points away from being safe from relegation. So they're last place right now. They're fighting it. And 9 points is just 3 wins if whoever's in front of you doesn't win their games and they lose too. So a lot can happen in that time. They have a good amount of games left. They could actually pull back. But seeing the trends of how every league anywhere in the world goes, it's not looking good for them. The odds are definitely stacked against them, but they could make a comeback. This is football and anything can happen. But they should probably try to tame down their defenders a little bit, because they have 2 of the players with the most yellow cards in the whole Bundesliga. And Gashula is one of them. He has 14 yellow cards in 27 games. And it really doesn't help that he looks like if Magneto decided to be a Calvin Klein model, that would be Gashula. So, calm down a little bit. Keep your helmet on and stop trying to kill every player when you're on the pitch. Like, it's okay. Your team needs you. You're a starter, you're a regular. Calm down, Magneto, please. Also, Gladbach lost 3-1 to Leverkusen. Leverkusen actually, who had the last game of match day 1 of the Bundesliga since the pandemic, won their game against Bremen 3-1, and now they come and beat Gladbach 4-1. They're really in a good form right now. Sven Bender got a great header. Kai Havertz got their 2 beautiful goals. He might be the next Ozil, as people are calling him. Might be going into the Premier League soon. Who knows? But definitely there's some options there. And Premier Leagues, especially like look at teams like Newcastle, who are getting new owners. There's a lot of money coming into the Prem right now. So there's options to buy players like that. It just matters of him staying healthy, him staying consistent, and they can actually be purchasing him for pretty big contracts soon. But it's exciting that he's just a new face and that he's consistently scoring goals for his team anyways. But high-key, the best part of that game wasn't even the match itself. It was the fact that Gladbach got about 13,000 of their fans to submit pictures of themselves, and they had cutouts. Literally, bro, this is why I love the Bundesliga's fans, yo. They had 13,000 cutouts of their fans set in the stadium for them to, in a way, participate in the game and for the players to feel their presence, bro. I mean, like, they lost. Cool, but it's still dope that they're trying to get as much as they can the fans involved in the whole process of the game. Like, they're not there physically, but it's still in a way like their energy is there with the club. And I think, bro, that's just dope. And Freiburg versus Werder ended in a 1-0 in favor of Werder. They needed that, where they really needed those 3 points to try and keep them alive in the Bundesliga. They're in fear of relegations too, so any point that they can get really matters. And right now, it's chasing them. That relegation ghost is really chasing them, but they're staying alive. That 3 points really helped them. Even though Freiburg had 15 shots and 8 on target, they really offensively were putting the pressure on Werder, but it just wasn't enough for them, and it ended in 1-0. Werder kept that clean sheet, which also gave them confidence going into the next game. I gotta give a big shout out to both Klaassen and Bittencourt for that beautiful goal. Klaassen's assist from that left side, curving it into the far right for Bittencourt, setting up that, dribbling past the keeper. Just a beautiful goal overall. Just a great team effort from them. And I know exactly what game y'all are waiting to talk about. I know, all right? I know. Wolfsburg versus Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund got their win, get the 3 points, 2-0. First of all, it started a little bit rocky from them. It seemed like Haaland was going to score yet again, but he missed the chance to score in the first half from a cross from Torgan Hazard. But Guerrero was able to continue his hot streak and score for the second time this week and get the 1-0 lead for Dortmund. And we got to talk about how that whole second goal was set up. And Sancho started the run, and you know, once he gets to running, when Sancho put the gas pedal on, it's like you can't see his feet. You can't see his feet. He just goes. He's like the road runner. And if you're the coyote, you're not going to catch him. You're just not going to catch him. And he's running towards the box. He looks like he's going all the way on his Usain Bolt vibes. And you have Haaland inside the box on this far left. You have Hakimi on the far right. He could have easily gotten it to Haaland on the inside. But that's exactly what the Wolfsburg defenders are expecting. So he just slides it, just a little bing, over to Hakimi on the right, who of course puts it away. 2-0 for Dortmund. Just a beautifully set up goal. Just such a exciting young squad. Yeah, they still have some problems in the defense, and which are gonna be a problem, really big problem for the next game coming up, but we're gonna stay optimistic for them anyways. And of course, the other game that everyone was waiting for, the much highly anticipated Bayern München versus Frankfurt. Now I'm gonna deliver this exactly how Bayern scores their goal and exactly how the sequence of their play actually goes. It's very direct, very to the point. Müller assists, then Müller scores. Then Lewandowski scores. Beautiful header, by the way. But Boateng looked like he's in defensive form. You got Alphonso Davies killing it at the wing. Oh my God, that boy from Canada, bro. From Canada. All due respect to Canada, big ups Canada. I love Canada, man. I love the maple leaf. It's just not expected to have a kid from Canada going and making the Bundesliga his. Like, he's tearing it up. Not just on TikTok. Like, he's actually playing extremely well. In all seriousness though, Alphonso Davies is shaping out to be one of the best fullbacks in the entire world. Like this is really his breakout season. A little bit last year he was building a name for himself, but this year he's really become a household name for Bayern, and it's just great to see the kid just coming out, really trying his best, really playing hard, and becoming an essential part of the team. Just to save minds from the embarrassments of talking about losing to Leipzig 5-0, Timo Werner ending his goal drought with a hat-trick, but they bagged that 3 points easy. I'm gonna save y'all the trouble and just move on to the next game. But moving on to Augsburg, who beat Schalke, who lose yet again 3-0. David Wagner, their manager, is really on the hot seat. He's getting a lot of pressure from the team, and coming over from Huddersfield, especially when you've coached in England, it just seems like there's added pressure for you to really perform, because it seems like any English team, whether it's in the Championship or the Premier League, is just, it seems to, like, the perception is that it's super intense, and it really is. It's competitive in England. So when you go over to the Bundesliga, it's like, yo, we need results. And right now he's not really showing that for Schalke, but they're back-to-back losses like that, it's really not good for their image, and he's under a lot of pressure to get that team back to where they need to be so that he can actually keep his job. And last but not least, in this week in the Rhine River Derby, FC Köln versus Düsseldorf ended in a 2-2 draw. And Düsseldorf were actually leading 2-0 surprisingly, but Köln came back. Beautiful trademark header from fan favorite Anthony Modeste, who's back with the team after he had a little run overseas in China, but he came back. Club legend. This guy definitely needs a statue built outside the stadium for them. The way he's helped come back and bring the team into the Bundesliga again, He's just like, the fans love him, the team love him, the atmosphere when he's there is amazing, and he just keeps performing for the team and keeps showing out time and time again that his heart belongs there, and he's gonna keep fighting for his club, man. It's just beautiful to see that type of loyalty. Even if you leave, you come back and you continue to perform and show out for your team, even when the fans are not there, but they're at home watching, and they see the passion that certain players like that, like, they're just household names that bring their all into the game and who genuinely love the club that they play for. And that's just, you can't ask for a better player than that. And for just as a footballer itself, like, being able to be somewhere where you love to play and that you enjoy coming in there and performing, it's a great feeling to have, man. It's just a source of happiness like no other. Like, it's just beautiful, man. Like, they love him, like he loves the club, and it's just, like, for real, it's beautiful. Like, he's just going, like, wow, B. Wow. That was the last of this week's Bundesliga game, but next week is back. And the game of all games, number 1 versus number 2, Bayern München versus Borussia Dortmund. It's amazing. Football is really back, and it's coming back so hard that it's really back. Anyways, Dortmund versus Bayern Munich is coming up this Tuesday. Stay tuned. Of course, watch it. We're going to be talking about it. But let's talk about a little bit of a preview of the matchups in this game. We got Alphonso Davies versus Sancho. They're going to go head-to-head. Alphonso got to be on his best defensive behavior. Sancho is different. That boy is really different. He's on a different type of timing. Everything different. So you have to come correct during that game. Definitely, Bayern's defense look like they're confident. They look like they're set up right. But Dortmund's attack is young, they're creative, so you have to be on your toes. Also, speaking of offense, Haaland versus, which is basically the younger version at this point now of his counterpart during that game, Lewandowski, who's the head of the league in goals. Haaland is resilient, new player, coming in from Salzburg, scoring all the time, becoming just like one of the most popular players in football right now. Well, for football fans, or he hasn't totally breaking out in the mainstream yet, but he's doing so well. He's just like, it's just a great matchup to see from both ends, the experience versus the new, fresh guy, just to see how that's going to go and who's going to show who out. But yeah, still that defense, although the offense is looking great for Dortmund, that defense is still a little bit shaky. Axel Witsel is not going to be there because he's injured. Emre Can is going to replace him. So it's still a little bit worrying. Not a huge difference, but Axel Witsel is just one of those players that against Bayern you really want to have. His football IQ is just, as a defensive midfielder, is just is just ridiculous. And so they can definitely use him. Emre Can, I'm sure, is going to do his best, but yeah, they're going to have to stay on their toes on defense because Bayern will not let up. Like, they're coming from back-to-back games of high-scoring records. They're the highest-scoring team in the league, so, and they concede the least. So you definitely, odds are stacked against Dortmund, but this is the good time to show that they can really perform. Right now, the points is 61 points for Bayern to 57 for Dortmund. So they have a lot riding on this game if they're really going to challenge for that Bundesliga title. If there's any point that they could do it or that they need to do it, it's during this game. Like, it's crunch time. If you need it, you got to get it now. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for the Bundesliga. Right now, we got news that La Liga finally is coming back on June 8th. Yes, Messi, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico, Granada, Malaga, all of it. Spain is coming back on June 8th. Slowly, football is really picking it up. The Premier League players just returned to training this week also. Haircuts all messed up and all. I didn't even know Conte could grow hair. Nobody told me. I didn't get the memo. I didn't think he could. I just thought, I didn't know it was just a style. It was just a fashion choice. Okay, but good for you. I mean, you can. I'm not going to judge. Yeah, the Premier League is set to return very, very soon. There's no definite date yet, but it's going to be back. They're back in training. Football is rolling out, and it's feeling good. But still, don't think that because football is back that everything is quite over yet. Still stay home. Still try your best to social distance as much as you can if you are going outside, and stay safe, guys. But with that being said, that's going to be it for this week on the Goal Weekly Show. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, comment, share it, of course, with your mommy, your daddy, your pappy, your cousin, your grandmammy, your sister, your brothers, cousins, nephews, dogs, pets, snake, whoever you can with. Make sure you also check out the social media and the music in the description. And I will, of course, see you guys next time on Goal. Peace.